Welcome back to the Dry Fire Journal. This is day 361. And in the final 5 days of the first year worth of Dry Fire videos, I want to talk to you about the 5 biggest lessons that I have learned in the last year, putting in probably between 500 to 550 hours of Dry Fire. Here's big lesson number 1. I have taught, I still personally believe that 100% of our shooting mistakes in terms of accuracy all happen in the nanoseconds before boom. And Dry Fire helps us correct grip and trigger sight issues, whether that's irons or dot. Dry Fire helps us focus in on all of the micro influences that need to happen from holster to target. And whether we are out of the holster and working on grip and experimenting with little micro things, experimenting with different pressures, different ratios of weak hand, strong hand, trigger manipulation, focusing on what we are going to choose to see, because that's always a choice, whether we like to admit it or not. Dry Fire helps us do all of that. However, I think the biggest lesson I've learned in the last year is that Dry Fire has a very severe limitation. I'm standing here in the private VIP section of the range in Yakima, where I also work, not just with Red Hawk, but with this place called The Range. And I'm in the lighted area showing you the dark range behind me. And one of the things that Dry Fire cannot do is help me understand how I need to choose to think and how I need to choose to behave in terms of recoil. So, what did I learn along the way? Well, round about day 60 to day 90, I believed wholeheartedly, and I had video evidence of it, that I was improving at a rapid pace with a 6-hour P365 XL. Did I gain a lot of improvement? Absolutely. Was I gaining the improvement I thought I was? No. And that's because I wasn't putting the rounds downrange to prove what I thought I was gaining in Dry Fire. So, range behind me is dark. So I want you to learn something that I've learned the hard way, many different ways over the last year. And that is that Dry Fire helps us illuminate all the things we need to do right before the shot breaks. What it cannot do, what it really cannot do, is help us learn how to think and how to behave in recoil, which is still in the dark. So, as much as I believe in Dry Fire, still do, I have also learned a valuable lesson this year, and that is that I need to very carefully manage the amount of live fire that I am putting in along with my Dry Fire. I believe that if I am dry firing over and over and over and over again and only sporadically mixing in live fire, then I will either tell myself too negative of a story or too positive of a story, because I don't have the actual story of what is going to happen in recoil. So, I'm not poo-pooing on Dry Fire. I still do it. I'm still going to continue to do it. But I have learned to put it in its proper context. So, when you need to solve a shooting issue with your grip, your trigger, your sights, you're trying to zero in a dot, you're trying to figure out the windage or elevation of a rear sight or anything like that, Dry Fire is a great way to learn how to see something different. But we have to confirm it all in live fire. That's big lesson number 1. Come back tomorrow, I'll tell you big lesson number 2, and it might hurt your feelings just a bit. See you tomorrow.